What's up, guys? Welcome to Bold Chat, the new live stream. We have a star-studded event for you tonight. All-star lineup in the house. It's Selection Day in NYC, New Jersey, and I have some people who I know this is near and dear to with me here today. I'm going to go ahead and welcome them to the stage. We have Sky Ostriker, we have Leon Horvath, and we have Jacqueline Toberoff. Guys, I'm so excited that you guys are willing to be. I'm surprised you're available to be here. It's really cool to have representation from New York City. Sky sporting her earrings.
I'm still holding on to hope for Lady Liberty.
As we all are, I think. Just to give a little intro on each of you, Sky, I'm so happy we got to meet in New York City before I moved. We were introduced to each other by George Santos. We love him, our connection.
Yes.
That last day that, I saw you in New York City with George, before he went in, was really such a special day. You legit ran there.
I did.
Yeah.
I wanted to say goodbye to our friend before he went away for his prison time. And, at the time we thought he would go away for 7 years. So I ran there. I figured it would be my exercise and to get to spend time with you and him. Like, it was like 3 days before he went away.
Literally, I couldn't believe it that I was really honored that he wanted to get together and have that time beforehand. So it was very special. And I'm glad we took that picture to kind of commemorate that moment. And obviously so happy that he's out. I'm assuming, have you seen him? I'm sure you've talked to him.
Yes, I actually talked to him earlier today because I'm here in Puerto Rico, which I'm sure we'll talk about. There's a big conference that begins tomorrow after Election Day, where 3,000 New York politicos come down to Puerto Rico for this conference. So I spoke to him and he said he charges a guest appearance fee to come to something like this. So, but we'll see him next time in New York or in the Poconos or in Florida, depending on where he says he's living next.
Yeah, depending on where he ends up, which there's, he's teasing me that he might be following me to Florida. Not me personally, but so maybe we'll connect there. Sky is also the host of Political Personalities with Sky, founder of In the Room Media, hosting and producing bipartisan events for anyone who doesn't know. So that's super cool. I mean, it's maybe weird to be in Puerto Rico, but maybe nice on this election day. But we can talk more about your event, but that's super exciting. So the conference here. Was everything safe and good with your travel today?
Yes. I voted on Sunday. I voted early and then I got out of town just in case shit hits the fan in New York City. I'm here on an island and I learned a lot about Puerto Rican politics today, which we can get into as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll do intro. We can totally make time for that. We'll do another intro. Jacqueline Toberoff, we also met in person at a George Santos event, but we've followed and supported each other on social media. Jacqueline is a political commentator, and you have a book, Super Moms Activated. You're in New York City right now? So Sky lives in New York City, but is in Puerto Rico. Yeah. You are in New York right now, yes?
Yes, I'm in Manhattan, born and raised in New York City, raising my kids here. So in the belly of the beast right now, Manhattan, which as of now has had the highest amount of voter turnout. So I don't know, that could be good or it could be bad, but yep, I'm in Manhattan.
How are you? How is the energy there? I'm curious today, right now.
For me, honestly, the energy has been, it's been like piss and despair for years. I mean, there are pockets of amazingness when you go out, but then it's like you're just, on that Titanic about to hit an iceberg. You go outside, Ubers are exorbitant. They cancel on you all the time. Taxi medallions lost 50% of their medallions during the COVID lockdown. So, it's like there are pockets of amazingness. It's still Manhattan, it's still New York City. But then there are real issues that you're confronted with on a regular basis.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of how I was feeling, right? And the reason that I left is just, I mean, I was in New York. So New York City, I'm born and raised in Florida, but moved to New York City in 2013 and lived there for 12 years and loved it. Loved the city. It's amazing. It changed my life and me in so many ways. It's near and dear to my heart, and was there throughout the pandemic in a tiny apartment and like lived through all that. But yeah, more recently, just really feeling unsafe in the subway. And so I think concerns right now is like, it's already feeling that way and what's to come.
Right.
Yeah. So I am definitely curious. Yeah, we'll talk concerns, of next steps, but I just want to also introduce Leon Horvath. Leon, thank you so much for being here, co-founder of Network Access Group, which we have to thank for this live stream and for the Bold Talk podcast as well. So we're working together. And so it's also very nice to have you here. And I know you also spent a good amount of time in New York City. So you're all vested in this.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. I'm excited to meet some new faces. Sky and Jacqueline, thank you. The live stream, I mean, this is a heated topic. I'm excited to talk about it. Obviously, you and I have discussed in length why we've left New York City, a variety of reasons for that. We came back to Florida, the Sunshine State. And I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happens tonight. It could be a big surprise. I mean, but we'll see. I mean, it's a crazy time in New York City. I'm really excited to get into this conversation about New York City specifically because I spent 4.5 years there and I got out pretty fast. Like that's not a big chunk of time. I don't consider myself some sort of New York native, but I spent a lot of time in New York growing up. I really grew to love the city and still I was pulled away. So yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Well, real quick so I do want to encourage you guys, please, please, please comment, ask questions. Real quick, we want to give Sky's earrings a shout out. So David, love the earrings. Gorgeous. Can you see Lady Liberty? Beautiful. I love it. I almost wore an NYC shirt, but yeah. So please guys, definitely feel free to chat with us. We'll pull up your comments and questions on the screen and let's see. Mamdani, yes, that's what we're talking
There's
about.
our guy.
I think he's the guy, right?
The most famous man right now.
The talk of the town.
From here to Dubai,
everywhere in between, Uganda, Egypt, everywhere.
Egypt,
yeah.
So China,
how about we saw this thing right about Mamdani being listed twice on the ballot for today's election, and Polymarket has him, expected to win by 92% chance that he wins. What do you guys think? Do you think
Can I go first?
Yes, please jump in. And
everyone. I think everything is bullshit. This is the most fake and phony campaign. It is so much driven by foreign influence. Could he cream Cuomo? Absolutely. Could there be a surprise? Absolutely. Look, the wife's mother, a doctor in Dubai, thought it's totally normal and legal to donate to her son-in-law's campaign over here in America. So there is so much foreign interference. Who knows which polls are correct anymore? His name's twice. I mean, Cuomo's in the rear, all the way at the bottom. Like, the whole thing is just kabuki theater at this point.
But the truth is, there's been a lot of voters that came out for early voting in New York City, a record high, 2 million people voted early. And
No. Early votes were 730,000. Now they're anticipating total votes will be a little bit around 2 million.
Okay.
But early voting was 735,000.
So, okay. So it's going to be more than that, right? 2 million voters. Have we ever had that type of voter engagement before? And what type of people come out to vote early versus the people that vote on election day? So could this mean something positive for perhaps a Mayor Cuomo as opposed to a Mayor Mamdani? I know he did super, super well in the Democratic primary. I think 450,000 votes. But with this many people voting, maybe that could change the tide. And like we've seen in the past, we can't rely on polls. Look what happened in the presidential election just last year, a couple years before that. Could we have hope?
Right.
For the Liberty State.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but typically over the past few years in similar elections, it was around 25% voter turnout, and that's nearly doubled to almost 50% this time around, correct?
Right. So the lowest mayoral election was during COVID, and it was like approximately 1.1 million. And then after that, the highest was Giuliani, approximately 1.4 million. So this is going to break.
Interesting. And just immediately, like your immediate feeling, do you think this grand voter turnout is, a reflection of his campaign? Let's talk about the early votes, because I think that's where we can see the biggest spike, in where the feelings come from. Is it more so from success of his campaign and whether you agree with the campaign or not, like him drawing people towards his policies and his campaigns? Or is it the other side, lifting themselves up out of their shoes and saying, let's get over there and vote real quick in this early voting action?
I think that there was a lot, like Zoran Mamdani came out of nowhere. He's been in the assembly, but he wasn't a senior assembly member. He was a relatively new assembly member. He came out of nowhere and he took it to social media to advance his campaign. And he did an excellent job because people in our voting block, whether you're Gen Z, millennial, you're looking to bond with government. You're looking to bond with your community, especially coming out of COVID. We were all traumatized with not having human interaction and feeling as if government gave up on us. And I feel that that's been the feeling that everyone's been having throughout America, throughout New York City, during the last couple of years, and to engage with a charismatic young person that comes out of nowhere, that has this momentum, that has this personality on social media. Of course, that brings a lot of new people out to vote. And with Cuomo, he's someone that we've all heard of from the past. He has some skeletons in his closet. He's had some battles to overcome, but what New York City is feeling for a variety of reasons. I mean, anti-Semitism being one of them, the way that people are feeling about Democratic Socialists of America. There's a lot of feelings on the ballot. I think that maybe someone like a Cuomo, I know if we want to talk about Sliwa too, but someone that has experience with governing and taking over and taking charge, perhaps there's more of a voting bloc that would come out for that. Hence, the amount of people that have come out to the polls already.
Yeah, I think the experience is definitely a great point. That's a concern of mine, right? Is like you want there's all these promises, and without the experience, like how do you trust that? I think is a definitely, a great point. What do you guys think about should Sliwa or Cuomo should have dropped out? Thoughts on that?
Too late now.
Well, right. But
too late now. I mean, if you're looking at it like a coach, obviously, that's the game plan. That's how the numbers are lined up against us. But clearly, some people in the offices over there didn't quite agree with us, or some egos might have got too big. But I mean, they're letting it play out the way they are. I mean, it's an interesting decision on my end, but you can't expect two people to work together who, at the end of the day, want to beat each other.
So the whole thing with Zoran Mamdani, he actually didn't come out of nowhere. DSA has been planning this since around 2018, 2019. And Zoran was working for his mentor, Linda Sarsour, who is head of Empower Change, which is Muslim Power Change. And under her training, it coincides with when he decided to become this American citizen. And maybe we want to have a conversation as to what is an American, and just because you're naturalized does not make you an American. So he's been on the scene under her tutelage for years. And this plot to kind of install him has really been around since before even Zoran. In fact, a video has come out from Linda Sarsour saying that after she believes he wins, she's going to let us know that nothing about this was grassroots or organic. CARE, which has been linked to the linked to Muslim Brotherhood, and Hamas, actually, per federal documents and court papers and the FBI, is the largest institutional donor to Zohran Mamdani's campaign, which is 80% Muslim. So when you look at what's happening in New York City, since basically de Blasio, the Muslim population has gone up 33%. And additionally, we are now 40% quote. So Americans who are voting have been really replaced by, quote, 40% immigrants and this new voting bloc of Muslims. And then you have DSA, which is the Democratic Socialists of America, which is the ground game, get out the vote, and they headquartered at big education. So when you look at his demographic of Muslims and people between the ages, or let's just say, south of 30, these are recent graduates of American Big Ed. And unfortunately, American Big Ed has been completely captured by Arab oil nations and the CCP. And they're hiring teachers that are sympathetic to terrorists. And they're turning out cyborgs that are sympathetic to this red-green alliance, which is what Zohran Mamdani is.
And I know, Jackie, you're so well versed on a lot of these issues as a mother, as an author, as a writer. And sometimes what I like to say, like, I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm from Long Island. And when you compare a Long Island Democrat to a New York City Democrat, I'm oftentimes viewed as a Republican in some New York City circles, just because I'm a moderate Democrat. That's how far left our party has gone. And I think when people think of the Democratic Party, they think of someone like Zohran as the leader of the Democratic Party, meaning like AOC, Bernie Sanders, Zohran Mamdani, they're DSA members that are taking the party more and more to the left. Yeah. My grievance is more with the Democratic Party as a whole. And that's why, like, I salute someone like Jackie that could come out and vote for Cuomo, seeing the writing on the wall, saying, like, as a Jew, like I am, we'd rather, like Trump said, a bad Democrat, right? I view it as a moderate Democrat as opposed to a socialist or a communist. What could that mean for the future of New York City? To me, I view it as, what could that mean for the future of the Democratic Party? Where are the moderate Democrats? What is our machine? Like you're saying, Zohran wasn't born out of nowhere. I think on paper he was born out of nowhere. Sure, the infrastructure's been there for years. And from what I hear on the ground within the Democratic Party is the DSA is planned through 2028 and beyond with who they're going to take out from the moderate Democrat slate, who they're going to take out, who they're going to primary from the left. My grievance and argument is, where are we as moderate Democrats? Who's in charge of organizing us? And what the F are we doing about our moderate Democrat viewpoint? Because recently on my social media feed, and I'm sure you've seen it too, are old videos of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, like old Democratic Party leaders talking about an issue as easy as immigration, saying, like, quoted saying, if you're going to move here, you got to speak English, you got to, get with the American culture. That is not the message of the moderate Democratic Party. Not that I'm saying that it should be, but I'm saying that the main message of the moderate Democrats has moved so far to left because they're so scared of losing their own seats that they're appeasing the DSA as opposed to standing up for what their constituents actually want, which is normal government that communicates with one each other, which is perhaps bipartisan and gets along.
Yeah, I think Sky, like I've been wanting to talk to you about this. I feel like we've been kind of going through a similar thing in terms of, like, I'm also a Democrat, but like it's been wild since the last election, just how extreme and radical things have gotten. to where, I'm the bold lib and I have people calling me a fascist and a Nazi for just like what I think is like common sense and, things like pointing out that I don't agree with like vandalizing Teslas. And I don't think, so just things that to me seem reasonable and common sense. So it has gotten pretty wild. And when I have I think there's so many Democrats or liberals who are feeling frustrated by that. And, like you're saying, like a lot of us, I think, are a little bit more moderate or left of center. But like so many people right now seem a little bit politically homeless. And, there's this whole cancel and like if you don't agree and subscribe to the echo chamber, ask any questions. It's really a problem.
I think you're right. I mean, it's funny. I didn't speak to you about this guy, but another one of my girlfriends, I've only and always, I mean, I'm to the right of Genghis Khan. I have always voted right, always. And Cuomo messed up my jam. I now have a stained record. And all I could think of was this is absolutely success for the DSA because they have moved the Democrat Party to the left. They have absorbed the Democrat Party. It's really, there's no such thing anymore as the Democrat Party, as Elon Musk has said, as other people have said. Zohran Mamdani is the face of the Democrat Party. And one thing, he voted for himself today on the WFP line, which is the Working Families Party line, which works in tandem with the DSA. So DSA is the Democratic Socialists of America, but it is not a registered political party. So what happens is candidates who are DSA members run on the WFP, Working Families Party, which is a registered party line. And for him to come out and vote for himself on that line signals he actually should be deported because he had to have lied on his citizenship application. He is a communist, and that is extremist. He didn't even vote for himself on the Democrat line. Cat is out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, I don't, yeah. I don't know like where we go from here. My question, I guess, to you guys in New York right now is depending on what happens, what are your biggest concerns? And, will you leave New York? Is that something that you're, because we're hearing all this information about this mass exodus to Florida. Like, is that something that you would consider? Like, where are you guys at on that?
Firstly, I think people should be shackled to their radiators here. They should not be allowed to leave, whether they voted for this or not. Look at Paris, look at London, look at Ireland. No, you have to stay and fight. You either have to surrender or fight, but you cannot bring your shit to another city or state. So you either hate what you've done to your neighbors and you vote differently the next time, or you enjoy it. You have no money and you live under a scaffold. Those are your options, but you should not be able to just pick up and leave. Sorry.
I love the commitment. I love the commitment. Yeah.
But like, Jackie, you have kids in the school system. Like, you have to stay. You have to stick it out. And you're a fighter by nature.
So I just don't know which general has ever won a war by surrendering and leaving. If you can find me one, go ahead. Why should we leave? They should leave. And there is no safe place. Like New York City is the petri dish for every single bad idea. Okay. Every single bad idea starts here. And then guess what? It fans out to the rest of the nation. So we might be done with socialism, communism, Sharia, and it could be coming to, those red states. So I don't know. For right now, I'm going to, I've committed actually, I'm going to be reporting if he wins on the Zohran era with ferocity every single day.
Good. And you live right by City Hall, so you'll be right out there telling everyone what to do. I'm sure of it. But I think this is really a reality and a wake-up call. And there's a lot of people that I've been in touch with who want to get back to like the moderate Democratic Party. And I went to an off-the-record lunch, so I won't say who said it, but it was someone that's viewed as a political pundit for a really long time who's in his 70s or maybe even 80s now, who's worked in presidential administrations and across the universe, but he gave the best analogy. He said that the Democratic Party is a carcass. And when you have a dead animal carcass, things grow out of it. You have larvae, you have mushrooms, you have other life forms that grow out of a dead animal. And that's what he said the DSA is. And I view it that way too. If our party wasn't a dead animal, then we wouldn't have other life forms growing out of it.
Wow. Well, I do love that.
Pretty good, right?
It's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then what are we doing to revive the carcass is
Right.
my question.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's my question all the time. That's like all the conversations we have. I talk to liberals. I talk to conservatives. I host off the record dinner parties. I host pop-up studio events. I combine the business sector with the public sector. And it's like, what can we do to all get along? And that's what I'm all about is like, can we all get along? But when you come to the point where 15% of extremists are all the way to the right and 15% of extremists are all the way to the left, it leaves the 70% of the people in the middle in no man's land. Like was said earlier, like we don't know what party we belong to. And you sprinkle in issues like Jewish hatred and you sprinkle in issues that are impacting us on like a cultural level. It's how do you level set with someone that intrinsically hates you as a person? You got to come to the table. You got to be like the moderate Democrats of our past that used to fight on the Senate floor or the House floor and then get together and have drinks afterwards. I mean, I can go on and on about this, about like off the record conversations that I've had with like Democrat US senators that have told me that they're friends with Republican US senators, but don't tell anyone because I can't let anyone know that I'm friends with that person. It's like, all we want to know is that you're actually friends with that person because you lead by example. Show that you can get along across party lines. Show that you can have a normal conversation. Show that you can duke it out on behalf of your constituents, but at least be civil because you got to set the example for the rest of society. Because right now our example is what we're seeing on social media, which is those extremists. And most people don't fall in that category of following the extremists.
Yeah.
And for those people that don't fall into the category of, the extremist sides, those extremes, whether we say it's 5%, 10%, or 15% of people that make up the extremes, they cloud the entire space.
Yes.
So everyone stuck in the middle there is still, they can't see. They have no idea what to see. Not only do they not agree with what's being said on either side, but they have no opportunity to speak out because of how heavily the extremes just completely cloud the entire landscape.
And Leon, you're like a young person. So tell us, like, do you get your news from social media? Like I get my news from social media.
I mean, well, right now for the most part, but the entire reason we started our project was because there was nowhere else to get your news. There is no place to get your news when you're a sane person. You can quote that, you can stamp it. I don't care what you do with it, but it's unbearable. The entire information, it's not just news, just information as it is.
Yeah.
The entire informative landscape is garbage. It's just, as I said before, completely clouded by just dog shit. Terrible.
How do we include more normal people in the conversation out loud? How do we do that?
I'm going to be honest, there is a lot less normal people than we think. Like personally, I think there is a lot less.
You don't think it's 70% normal people like I think?
No, I don't really think it's 70% normal people. I think it's a solid 25%.
That's
25,
it?
25%. Genuinely. A lot of people like to
I mean, only one of us
a lot of
is
people like to throw around the term progressive. Progressive is like the most popular term for the past like 5 years. I'm progressive. I'm so progressive. My policies are progressive. It brings people together. They like to connect progressive and nice and this sense of community. They sort of carry those words along with this progressive label. But what progressive really is just hating the other people on the opposite side more and more. It's just purely dividing people. And I really think it takes a lot more than bringing sane people together. I think it's a whole conversation of we need to make more people sane somehow. And that in my theory is that's through information. That is through news. It's through getting people information that is factual, purely factual, no spins, no bias, no garbage that clouds them from starting on a good base to form their own personal opinions. It's not about what someone else tells you to think. It's about you forming your own opinion before you carry it on to any other conversations. And I think that value, that ability to form your own opinion is crushed right now in the current media landscape. Because like you said, you're sprinkling all these little issues here and there, and someone's attached to every little thing. Everybody has a little bit of a connection to whether it's Jew hate or any of the other stuff. Like, everybody feels some sort of way. So when you're sprinkling a lot of little things in a bucket, someone's going to put their hand in and come out with something. And everyone finds their own lane. And yeah, I just think it's really bad right now. And I think it's all connected to the destroyed world of information and news, just ingestion. Yeah.
And that's why people are turning more to platforms like this to get their information and news and to hear from people on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lan, do you want to talk any more about sort of the birth of your mission for Network Access Group, like, and why, like, what your purpose, what we're talking about, and how you guys are trying to do that?
Yeah. So Network Access Group is sort of like a social media identity. It's really the idea of just a group of people who aren't necessarily like-minded, but they are like-minded in the sense that they're just willing to have conversations. So all four of us, I can tell you there's a bunch of things that we probably don't agree on, but I will sit down and have a conversation with just about anybody on the planet any day of the week about anything. So it's really about collecting, whether it's influencers or just individuals, just people who want to build a base for open communication and constructive dialogue. And what we're releasing in July 2026, our plan is Inflow Daily. It's an information delivery platform that we are building our own technology for, that aggregates news and information from all around the globe, cross-checks it, and breaks it down to just the pure facts of any case on any topic that we are delivering. So it's really to boil down this information overload that we live in and just supply people with factual information to give them a solid level 1 base to form their own opinions. We don't want to take down mainstream media. No one's taken down mainstream media because everyone feeds off it. But we just want to give people a better starting point before they consume the inevitable garbage.
Well, I was the death of legacy media for Halloween, actually. I was
Wow. How did that play out? Wait, what is, I need to picture that a little bit.
It was a skeleton costume, skeleton makeup, but like New York Times paper like glued to me and like in my wings, because part of what you're saying is we just got to give people facts. But the other side of the coin is most people don't resonate, like facts don't resonate with people until you tell a story that it actually impacts you.
Yep.
Like when you tell a story, a specific story, and this is what you hear from politicians all the time when they're stump speeching, right? They tell the story of the veteran that they met and that their mom was a taxi driver. Like they tell like specific stories that are supposed to like resonate with you because it does. And that's the thing about news is like, you got to tell it in a way, like you're saying, that's not biased, but it's also not too factual, that it's like too sterile of information. Like facts and figures don't resonate with people the way like a familial story would. Yeah. And I think if we had more like moderate familial stories being told, then I still think there's more than 25% of people that are like in the normal voting block. I
think a solve actually for this, which I haven't heard anyone talk about, but I think it could actually be interesting if some media outlet were to do this, and it would probably have to be some citizen videographer to accept zero foreign money. As soon as foreign money pollutes anything that is American, whether it is APAC or the Iranian or Qatari or whatever it is lobby, you are corrupted. You are corrupted and you should be put under suspicion. If you are America first, and I know that that's now perceived as some right-wing term, which is so weird for me because we all live in America, whether you are a Democrat, a this or that, everyone should want to be America first and want the best country because we freaking live here. I think one solve would be whoever, is launching their own thing and wants to purport, that they are strictly committed to facts and no spin and no bullshit. And of course, there's going to be all that stuff in there anyway. You can't help it. Just to take zero foreign money. Then at least, hey, whatever happens, you're not influenced by some outside country.
Well, let me tell you how we're doing that and taking it a little step further than that. So no outside monetary influences at all. And not only that, but Inflow Daily, the platform, will not allow a single ad. We will never have an advertiser even in this product, because we are eliminating any opportunity for any external voices to input their spin or their narratives or whatever they want into our project. So you are 100% on the money about that. I completely agree with you there. It's cutting off external influences is key to really solving any major structural, financial, or any issue really when it comes to businesses currently, because they're just getting overrun by external influences. Like, leadership is just non-existent. They're just the final say-so in getting something done. But, it's a puppet show.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree.
But even with that, and I know this is like a hyper local example to New York, but like what I do 2 years ago, I founded In the Room Media. And it's because everyone wants to be in the room where it happens. And I put out a weekly newsletter, and it's not funded. There's no advertising. It's just a roundup of who was with who, where they were, what were they wearing, what were they doing, where were they going, who were they with. And it's really for an audience that wants to understand New York government and politics without the spin, without the bias, and without the payer advertiser influence. But I do that from my heart because I genuinely want people from both sides of the aisle to get along and see that they're in similar spaces or interacting with this similar nonprofit organizations or showing up at the same restaurants or supporting each other in ways that are outside the box. And like, that's like little old me doing that, but I feel like if more people could model that pathway, so I'm interested, Leon, in like subscribing or whatever it takes to be part of what you're doing. But I'm so in favor of people putting out like tidbits of what's actually going on with the hope of inspiring others to get involved for a more altruistic cause, as opposed to being paid by someone to be somewhere or to stir hatred and get more clicks online.
Absolutely. Sky, I'm curious. It's amazing that you're doing that. I love it so much. It seems pretty in line with also what I'm trying to do in terms of having the conversations with
my halo.
No, but seriously, I do. I love it. Like we this is another thing that, I think a lot, like maybe all of us have in common. I'm wondering like what sort of backlash or pushback you receive, because I'm experiencing that from people, just even for, going to Moms for Liberty, like to the summit and taking a picture with someone. Like, people don't really know what the conversation was, like what happened, but they don't like it. So I'm curious, like, I don't know, do you face that at all? Like from friends or like people that don't understand what you're trying to do?
Not that I know of. And, maybe that means I'm not popular enough to have, all these haters coming forward. But I pride myself and, I'm here in Puerto Rico at this conference, and I pride myself as someone that can bring like all aspects together to coalesce around something positive. And I hope that trend can continue. I mean, I know that sounds like a bullshit answer, but like genuinely, that's how I feel.
I have experienced such crazy stuff. So I'm Jewish, and Israel has never been my line of country. I mean, I'm American, and my real concern is always America and preserving the Judeo-Christian American ethos. I have gotten so much hate for two topics that I bring up. Anything with illegal aliens, anytime I post what's happening on Canal Street, they cannot handle it. It sets people off. It makes them call me a Nazi, ugly. Every insult is about my looks, and I'm a Nazi. I get that all day long. And then the other thing is, I really have little patience for these Jews that have been, not just in this election, but really leading up to it, voting against their interests only again because it hurts the Judeo-Christian American interests. And I'm called a Nazi for insulting Jews like all day long. Then I was insulted by Republicans. I was called a grifter because I voted for Cuomo. Which is very strange to me because Trump has not endorsed Sliwa. And, listen, for me at this point, the only thing I'm looking to do is stave off Sharia and communism. The devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. I love walking around naked. I want to wear a G-string and I do not want to wear a burqa. So all day long, I am voting for anyone that is not an Islamist or a communist, like all day long. Whoever it is.
I've shared a hotel room with Jackie, so I can attest. She loves walking around naked. Jackie, do you want to show us your body chain?
No, here. But no, I mean, it's crazy because we're all different politically, and the amount of hate and I don't get a ton of it, but I know the exact issues that set people off. Like, really, illegals is a huge problem for people to wrap their heads around, and they go apeshit when I say you have to deport the children first of illegals. Here is why: illegal children are an albatross for taxpayers. They require education, which is a fucking fortune. New York City is the highest per public school student. It's 39,000 despite out-migration, up 10,000 in 1 year, only because of illegals. Then they need interpreters, they need medical stuff, they need everything. So kids are the most expensive, and then they turn into gang members. We've seen this now. They're called lone wolves or sheep wolves, whatever their name is. They join these gangs at age 13. So for me, whenever I bring up illegal children, they should be the first ones to go. The ones in jail are already in jail. Let's focus on the kids first, actually, and it will compel the parents. I get a lot of hate for that. And anytime I talk about Jews, I get a lot of hate. It's very strange.
A lot of the hate that comes from Jewish talk, because I'm Jewish also, and I post some stuff here and there, but it's bots. It's bots. It's bots.
I'm arguing with no one.
One of my like most commented videos of all time was a video that I did with Congresswoman Laura Gillen, who is a Democrat who represents the most Jewish congressional district in the United States. It's on Long Island on the South Shore. We did a video in partnership with JCRC, the Jewish Community Relations Council. We did the video in February. And to this day, that video will get comments on it every day that are from bots talking about free Palestine and all that messaging. There's no way that people are seeing this video 9 months later and commenting on it. They are bots. There is a bot campaign that is after Israel that has promulgated, or whatever the word is, right? Promulgated.
You got it.
What's the word?
Promulgated this
anti-Israel hate. And the question is, like, what are we doing about it? And again, it goes back to, like, I had this little Hanukkah party, I had this little thought leader dinner, I had like all these interventions that I thought were with the right people. Like, what are we doing about this? What are we doing about this? What are we doing about this? And here we are at the point where tonight's election night, I don't know what the results are just yet, but there could be a situation where New York City is electing someone that would identify with more of the hate comments that were made on my video with a pro-Israel congresswoman than not. And I think it's inspired by a lot of bot comments.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you follow Jason Curtis Anderson on X. He's amazing, and he reports on local New York City issues. Very well researched, very sober thinking. And he has basically, he's proven that a lot of these things are coming from foreign bots in
Yes.
Pakistan and other places. So again, like this whole quote grassroots and organic campaign, firstly, there are similarities between Biden and Zoran. They're both like these, they're like marionettes. There is a whole behind the scenes apparatus at play here. And there's a whole setup. There's this very sophisticated web taking place. And we're so behind in understanding it and really wrapping our heads around it. DSA is in every single state across the nation. Working Families Party is in 18 states with 3 ballot access, and that is expanding. This is like New York City is really the center of gravity. And the reason why everyone should care about this election is it is going to radiate. Whether Zoran wins or not, it's going to be felt. And he, quite frankly, doesn't have to do anything. He's not going to be installed because he can balance a budget or even fix infrastructure. The entire model of the DSA is the permanent revolution. And the revolution is liking no police. It's chasing out the billionaires. It's causing chaos and fomenting division. So they've actually really won. They've mainstreamed globalizing the Antifada. They've mainstreamed, this massive riot culture and downward mobility.
So what's supposed to happen next?
I mean, look, I think, there was this like American revival, so to speak, with the massive turnout and the momentum that came out for Trump. I think first we have to wait and see what happens. And I think after we see these polls and the results, we're going to see how Republicans did a really shitty job messaging to people under the age of 40. Part of that is because our education is completely captured. Nursery through post-secondary institution, completely owned and infiltrated. And then we have media, which is like the proxy of the left. And, it's not giving us honest information. And then we have this foreign influence, these bots, these algorithms, these not grassroots, Soros and CCP. And, again, all these words that we've been hearing ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really challenging. And that's why, Angela, what you're doing and what you're doing, Sky, just giving the news from, just this honest perspective, not necessarily knowing everything, but just saying, hey, this is what is happening. This could be a trend. We see it happening in New York City. Maybe it's going to happen somewhere else. Like, let's pay attention. I think is important. And I think the takeaway from COVID is they separated us. They kept us all silent and disjointed. And I think now the one thing that we should never be is afraid to say our position, whether it's left or right. Thank fucking God in America, we have free speech, and we should absolutely, like, that is a weapon against, this Islamist communist situation. Free speech is actually a great weapon. Writing, speaking, there are some bridges that are never going to be bridged, right?
But Jackie, it's not sexy to be in the middle. And I faced this battle. Like, my first Instagram handle was the fashionable Democrat. And it was similar to Angela, like the bold lib. It's supposed to be not liberal, but like bold liberal. So maybe conservative liberal, like fashionable Democrat was supposed to be not just a Democrat that's into fashion, but like a fashionable Democrat, someone that could get along with both sides. Like, that's where I began. And I had someone who's a CEO of a big company say to me that by the word Democrat, you eliminate half of anyone that could potentially follow you or like you because you have the word Democrat in your name. So I changed it to the political personality. That's neutral. And here I am as a neutral person, but it's like, no one wants neutral, especially in the age of social media. What do? We like the clickbait, and all the time it's like you want the extreme. So to me, it eliminates the normal people, Leon, whether that's 20% of us or 60% of us.
That's a good point.
It eliminates normal people. So how the hell do we make like normalism sexy? And by me wearing my Lady Liberty earrings and like doing everything that I do, I'm trying my darndest to make normalism sexy by bringing people together, by saying, hey, you conservative and you progressive, you guys actually have something in common. Like both of you guys, even if it's something as stupid as you wear the same designer, right? That's the point of style across the aisle. My fashion show where elected officials model the runway wearing designers from the districts. If you guys can connect over a local designer, if you could connect over the fact that your grandmother's sourdough recipe was inherited into you, if you could connect over something as simple as your child is on the t-ball team, so is my child. If we can just find one connection point, one piece of civility and humanity, then that will maybe make us better at having more difficult conversations.
Exactly.
Right?
You put that perfectly. Like genuinely, you can hate each other in 99% of things, but it takes one thing for you to agree on with one other person to make meaningful change. We can debate what meaningful means to people, how many people notice this change we make. But if you and I agree on just one thing, we can put a constructed and more effective effort into changing that than if we were alone. It's all it takes. It's a keychain. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I focus on. Again, on my hyper local level in New York, that's what I focus on. But it's like we need more people focusing on that. We really do. And I've heard of these national campaigns disagree better. Like there's a lot of different things as I've been digging into this sin style across the aisle, all these things, you know, when you talk about things out loud, how it pops up on your social media feed. It's like all these people that are doing like similar work in that like moderate viewpoint. It's like, hello, like let's make us sexy and cool and fun, you know, like it takes one thing to agree, like you just said, Leon, like that's all that it takes, and then we can just break the ice and get on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, again, just the importance of, I think it's so easy to get discouraged and frustrated with all this stuff that we've been talking about, you know, the criticisms, the haters, the trolls, the bots, like all that stuff. But you know, the more that we can like stay strong and keep be true to what's important to us and our purpose, I think we really are, you know, breaking ground, making ground. Like, you know, I think it takes time, but I feel like I'm hearing this from more people, and kind of in the spirit of what you were saying earlier about stories and storytelling. That's also in line with what I'm trying to do with the Bold Talk podcast, is do a deeper dive into that person's story beyond what you think you know about them based on social media or their posts, their content. And so those little things, you're like, you can connect. It makes people relatable. It gives them, you're like, oh, they're a human and we have this in common. And so again, to the point of just connecting as human beings and storytelling, I think there really is something to it. And the more that I'm, you know, getting out there and having conversations and going to the events, it really is, I think, changing people's minds and building relationships and bridging gaps. It really feels that way. I think there is a lot of that going on right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, strange times make for strange bedfellows. And we've had a total, you know, again, not so much me and Sky, because this is New York City, right? Like a lot of what they put out is just not true. We actually were doing great before BLM. Like everyone's walking around mixed. This is a very organically diverse area. But how they painted the picture, you would think it's like white knights of the Ku Klux Klan in New York City. And, you know, there are things for us to connect on. There are, again, some bridges that will never be bridged. It's important that we have moral clarity. Like we understand what's up. Like we understand what's going on within America. Like there has to be some sort of rules-based order, right? I mean, that's what civilization is. It's not like we're going to extend an olive branch to the kafia with, you know, a machete. Like, no, we're not. But like when you talk about that sweet spot, that middle spot,
which we hope is 70%.
We hope. I'm with you there.
Jackie, what do you think it is?
It's completely not 70%. Look at Zoran's base. It's literally anyone south of the age of 40 is, and I'm sorry to say this, a potential. I don't even want to put this out there, but they have gone through American Big Ed, and it ain't pretty.
I'm south of the age of 40, and I consider myself amongst the 70% in the middle.
Am I the oldest person here? I'm like 800. I think I'm the oldest person here. I'm probably not your target audience. But I am opinionated, and I'm not in the middle.
Yeah, and that's okay. And hey, we have a lot of opposing viewpoints a lot of times, Jackie, but you're my friend because we're friends. We have other things in common that we can get along about anything. And that's what it takes. That's back to the point. When you have something in common, you can respect each other in a different way than if you're just talking about public policy. Because let's face it, when you meet someone new for the first time, you don't ask them their opinion about abortion. You don't ask them their opinion about climate change. Hello, that would polarize you right away. I got an Uber the other day and the Uber driver asked me who I voted for. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to say this right now because
what are you going to do? Crash the car right
you're
now?
in charge of my life. Like, I don't know if I can reveal this. So I like skirted around the issue. It's like, let me ask a bunch of other questions to feel you out a little bit.
Smart.
And when it came down to it, it seemed as if we were on a similar page. But that's a point. When you meet someone, it's like, that's not the first question you ask. And that shouldn't be the first question that you ask when you're reading the news, you're reading social media. It shouldn't, I mean, yes, we should lead with facts, but it should be about like, where does this person come from that makes them believe the things that they believe in? Because when you understand that and respect them as a human, then you can understand and respect where they're coming from a little bit more, as opposed to just hating them because they're, against your views polarizing. Like, let's just view everyone as a human.
Absolutely. And I think it's good to challenge your beliefs and your opinions and where they came from. Like, why do you believe this about this person? Right? Like, where did that come? Even
like Jackie, our girlfriend, Ina Vernikov, right? Our conservative friend in the New York City Council.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Angela. It's like I will sometimes force myself to watch something I know is going to make me want to chug Tylenol. Like I force myself to watch it. And you know
the worst thing Jackie's ever done, just chug Tylenol.
I'm such a nerd, but to me, like I want to know what the other side is thinking. I want to know how they see it. I want to know how they do that narrative arc and frame it up and tee it up. I want to know what they're going to come at me with. It's like, whatever side you're on, you should have some sort of like baseline level comprehension of what that other side is, whether you agree with it or not, or how are you even discussing anything? Like, how do you even form an opinion without having some, just basic understanding of that other side? And I think through that, like the thing that we have been able to agree on, right? A lot of us here who are Americans voting is that we don't want to skew towards communism, right? 31% versus the foreign-born people that are voting for Zoran, which is 62%. Like we actually pretty much agree here. We don't want that. So there are things that we can fundamentally agree on. That's what makes us American, right? Like you have this melting pot. The thing that is supposed to come out of a melting pot is a freaking American. It is not someone who is more proud to hold a foreign flag. They should ban all of these foreign flags in any federal building, even ban parades. Like the only country, you should be America first. We have a lot of work to do here. Like we got to clean this mess up. Stop it with the habla español on the voting ballots. No, if you're voting, speak English. Speak English. You're voting in America. Sorry. Like you can live here if you don't speak English, but why are you voting in our freaking elections if you don't understand our language? That seems weird. No? Am I the only one? Is it because I'm a Republican? I mean, I think that's weird.
No, like it's logical. Yeah.
I mean, then you talk about the ballot proposals. You definitely need to understand English. I mean, I speak English. That's my native tongue. Okay. And the ballot proposals are just completely incomprehensible. And it's written in ye old English, okay? Not even like legalese.
Like
It's like
Shakespearean?
you cannot understand them at all. So I understand that there could be a conflict, you know, with the language barrier. I mean, I could go on a tangent about that, but what did you say right before that? Because I had something I wanted to say as a comment to that. Oh
No,
yes,
no
when we're
parade.
talking about living in the same country, right? Like I think it's a sin that you could watch MSNBC or CNN or Fox News, and your takeaway is that like you feel like you're living in a completely different country that someone who watched the other channel. That shouldn't be the way
That's
that the
wild,
news.
actually. That's
But that's how it is.
wild. Yeah, no, you're
That's
right.
how it is.
It's
Yeah,
like
you know what?
CNN.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
I have parents who are divorced, but one of them Fox News religious, one of them MSNBC liberal Democrat. My dad is like a self-hating Jew. Okay. So that's the spectrum. And when the two of them talk, it's like they can't even they were in love and married for 25 years and they still love each other because they have that bond. They have the human connection. They have two daughters in common. But when they talk about politics, it's like they're living in two different universes based on the news that they consume. And again, they're like what, boomers, because they're in their late 60s, early 70s. But the news that they consume is not on social media like the rest of us. It's on television. And they feel like they're hearing two different realities as if they're living in two different countries or on two different planets based on just broadcast television in America.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's, I think why it's so good to be like aware of those things, right? Like to just be aware and question, like, you know, like we were saying, just your beliefs and your opinions, where they're coming from. And in terms of being like unbiased, factual, et cetera, because things can be slanted and, yeah, so that's some dangerous territory. And
And I just want to riff off of what you said, Angela. They have, when I say they, I mean everyone. They have lied to us since 2020. Like they have lied to us on every side of the aisle. They have legitimately, no side can escape blame from this. So for any human being to not question everything at this point would make me very suspicious of that human being. I mean, you had Sonia Sotomayor say something like 300,000 children, I believe she said, were hooked up to a ventilator during COVID. That was a patent freaking lie that she never had to apologize for. And I could be mistaken with the numbers or but it's basically that. So both sides of the aisle have lied to us systematically about absolutely everything. Again, it's to keep us divided, because when people are divided, like with these identities and flags and 600 languages that Zoran brags that are spoken in New York City, that's nothing to brag about. That's actually embarrassing. We should be united under one flag. It's the American flag. We should all be speaking in English. We should all be so grateful that we're here, because every single one of us left some shithole. I mean, my grandparents left Russia because of the pogroms. That's why we're here. You know, if you've left China, if you've left any of these Muslim countries, like you should not be bringing in those cultures and ideologies from which you supposedly fled, and then electing people who are batshit crazy representing those cultures and ideologies from those banana republics. That's a problem.
yeah, that brings up a really good question that, like, you know, I've been contemplating myself is, you know, with Zoran being born in Uganda and moving here when he was 7, should people be running for office? Should they be natural born citizens? You know, at what point, like, is that the culture they come from, like they're trying to bring it here, or did they grow up in America? And they, like, it's a weird, I don't know. It's something that I've been questioning, like, what should they just have been born in America, or, you know, I don't know, like where.
No, you know what I listened to? I think it was a podcast with Theo Vaughn, you know, the Theo
Oh
Vaughn.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you listen to his Arnold Schwarzenegger conversation?
No, but that is someone that came to mind when I was thinking about this.
It was such an amazing conversation about Arnold Schwarzenegger growing up in Germany and coming to this country and being a bodybuilder. And then it's the whole story of his life that I never knew before a couple of months ago when I listened to this podcast. And then, he went on to be an actor and then be governor. But I'm not against anyone that's not born here, but wants to achieve the American dream and improve society and add to the general American public and distill their values and become like a citizen that people want to admire. Like, I have nothing against that.
I think the pushback to that is, I would say, it should be a case-to-case basis.
Who decides the case?
Well, this I think should be the deciding factor. We are Judeo-Christian. If you are running for office as a communist or an Islamist, that is actually an extremist position, and you should not be able, to run for office as someone who is planning on enforcing Sharia or communism. These are not this is not how the founders structured our Constitution. Is all based on Judea. It's all based on
ideologically that works and theoretically that works. But where do we actually draw the line? Like, what religion are you? What religion were you identifying with?
I think it's if you are running for office on these extremist ideologies. I think that's the line. Like, you can be crazy and you can be a crazy Republican and a Christian or a Democrat, but you are within the party lines. You can run and be a Muslim, but within the party lines. If you're running as a Muslim looking to bring forward Islamism, that's an issue. Like, that's an issue.
Let's take Zoran, for example, because he's like, the talk of the town in tonight's election night. Okay, he wasn't born in this country. He's running as a Democratic Socialist. But if he were to join us right now as a special guest, he would tell you that he respects all religions and cultures.
But he's a liar. But
he would tell you that he's visited temples and he's visited mosques and he's visited churches and he wants us all to get together and get along. Like, that's what he would say.
So, here's the part where, you don't negotiate with terrorists.
But then who's the deciding factor? Like, who is it? Like, who decides? Right. The people. He won the Democratic primary. So, the people chose him.
I'm not so sure about that. There's been no forensic audit. We have, again, 40% immigrants.
We're not sure that he won the Democratic primary.
No, I'm not sure. Absolutely not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that at all. I have no idea how many people, thanks to motor voting.
When should we find out if he won the
No way. No. Yeah, he probably won the Jewish vote. That I will give you. The Jewish vote he probably secured.
And what does that say about us, Jackie?
Only you not voting for Zoran. Maybe you're the second.
Us.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely.
Leon, are you a New York City voter?
No.
You should have voted. Anything goes.
Right, because if you were a former college student, I think you can still vote.
Yeah.
There are no rules.
That's a whole nother conversation about who can vote. I found out 2 weeks before the election, you don't have to actually live in New York City. You could have had a residence in New York City and still vote in New York City. You don't have to pay taxes in New York City to vote in New York City. Angela, you could have voted in New York City.
That's true.
Yeah, Angela, we messed up.
So you guys knew that?
I didn't know that. No.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I know that.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Well, and then there's voter ID, right? That's a conversation.
It comes back to, yes, voter ID. I know, but it's like,
voter ID.
Who's making the rules? That's my question. Who's making the rules?
I hear you.
One-party Democrat rule. We've been under the jackboot of one-party Democrat rule for 2 decades now. And, I voted, what time is it? It's 8:40. Polls close at 9. So I don't want to say to dissuade people from voting for Cuomo. But
yeah, we hope everyone who's listening voted already.
And flip the ballot over and vote no on all propositions.
I voted no on all the propositions also.
See, we have so much in common.
The 3 of the 6 were about taking away New York City Council power. And when you think about that, if you have a moderate mayor, like Eric Adams proposed these ballot propositions, right? So he wanted to strip away New York City Council power because the New York City Council is more to the left than he was. So if that's the case, Okay, cool. We're going to strip New York City Council power to give the power to a moderate mayor. When we're coming into a new election where there's going to be who knows who could be the mayor, and we still want to take away power from the city council, I think it's more of a risk to take power away from the New York City Council, not knowing who the mayor is, because the part of these propositions is that the new mayor can appoint people to an independent review board, right, of who's going to make these decisions about affordable housing. And that sort of circles back to Jackie. Like, who makes these decisions? If you're going to elect someone and cultivate someone who may not have been born in America, which is great, you've achieved the American dream, you're going to run for office. Like, who are we deciding? Like, who are the deciding factors? How do we know that they're independent deciding factors? Are they appointed factors? Are they elected factors? It's the same problem that this is a tangent, so please feel free to cut me off, but it's the same problem that I have with the judicial system. I was elected a district leader for the 73rd Assembly District on the Upper East Side. That means that I had an elected, non-paid position, elected by the state, on the ballot. My name was on the ballot. The judges, their role was to court us and to talk to the district leader because they wanted to get on the ballot. They wanted to get on the ballot. They want to work their way up. All of a sudden, once a judge becomes a judge, once a judge is elected a judge, they can't be involved in party politics anymore because they're supposed to be neutral as a judge. But it's like your whole judgeship was cultivated through local party politics, and now you're not allowed to be involved in party politics. To me, that doesn't make for a neutral decider. That's like ridiculous. So my point is, when we talk about neutrality and who decides on certain things, who decides if someone is neutral, who decides if someone should run for office, who decides if someone is going to follow this or this, how do you decide?
There are legitimately rules in place that actually answer all of this. Like, there is enough information to federally pursue denaturalizing Zoran. Again, some of these things include lying on his citizenship app. You were supposed to fill out whether you belong to any extremist groups. When he applied, he was under the tutelage again of Linda Sarsour. So these are pretty cut and dry things.
Yes, when you talk about federal repercussions, it's like, we're over here. I'll leave like this. We have a governor that endorsed him, a Senate speaker that endorsed him, an assembly, like everyone endorsed him. Congressmen, like people endorsed him. So when you're talking about federal, that's the same thing to me. Again, this is just
right. I think
the same thing is like the feds in ICE and them saying they're going to go against ICE. Like, it's the same thing. It's like the feds versus the state. Like, we're talking about the city mayor.
I think a lot of this is also influenced again by foreign influence, whether it's Kathy Hochul, all of these people. There is a lot of foreign influence. No, you don't think so?
I don't know. Do we have facts to prove it? What did Zoran
get?
$9,000?
No, it's not $9,000.
What was it?
Well, firstly, for him, it's $13,000 and then $170.
I mean, 13.
Like, no.
Come on, that's like one credit card bill. Move on.
That is just for his campaign. We have not even touched the fact that CARE, again, which is tied to Hamas and Muslim Brotherhood, and then you have also Soros. They have pumped millions in.
The George Soros thing really needs to be.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
No, please. You know more of the facts than I do.
The numbers are.
I'm a people person. You're a facts person.
Well, the numbers are huge, and they're not even fully. I mean, they're still coming out. So there has been a lot of proof that money has come to him from outside of the United States, and we haven't even figured out how much. So, okay, let's say we don't know, and let's say we're unsure. Is there foreign influence? Isn't there enough for the DOJ to investigate the CFB? I mean, by the way, you want to hear a crazy story? His liaison at CFB was my liaison, and his liaison, I think, is the highest position at CFB in DSA. So I'm not even sure when I ran for office that I lost, quite frankly. Yeah, I'm serious.
What's the retroactive window to challenge your election?
But what I'm saying is illegals are voting in these elections. That, I think, is settled science.
I mean, there was someone you saw on social media that said, I'm going to vote for Zorn for the 6th time.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
You should go out and vote right now.
I mean, I could vote as my mom, as my sister, as my dad. I really could. You don't need to show ID. How the hell did they know it's me? No, seriously. That was one of the first things I posted on Facebook when I was first elected
with my dog, and they wouldn't let my dog in. And all I want to say is, you people literally let in illegals. You will not let my dog in? Like, it was so, what are the rules? What are the rules?
I Googled the rules and I didn't bring my dog for that reason because I just didn't feel like getting yelled at. I don't like getting yelled at. But I will say that you have a point there. Like when I was first elected district leader, one of the first things I posted on Facebook in my Democratic club was, how come we don't have to show ID to vote? Like I have to show ID to return something at Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, isn't voting way more important than getting my money back for Bed Bath & Beyond? And my Democratic club was like, Sky, take that down. Those are not Democratic values. So I deleted it, you know, but it's like,
it sounds so reasonable, common sense to me.
It does sound common sense. Don't you have to show ID for everything you do? To enter a nightclub, to go on an airplane.
Everyone
literally everything. How come you don't have to show ID to vote? How come?
Agrees that they are, you know, above plant life, brain activity. They agree that you should show ID. The only people that have an issue with this are illegals and Joyanne Reed. Literally, everyone else on the planet has come to Jesus and can say, whether they are white, black, poor, rich, they can figure out how to get an ID and they can figure out how to extend their arm and show it. Like it's not that hard.
Right. And I've talked to the Hispanic community because there's like a big barrier with the Hispanic community and like their, you know, relationship with law enforcement and ICE and like whatever. But if you have like a, what do they call municipal ID? Like you need an identification to enter a lot of other things or to return something at Bed Bath & Beyond. Can't you just show that municipal ID to vote? Like voting is a humongous, that's an American privilege. Shouldn't we have to show who we are to vote? Like to me, it's a no-brainer, but for some reason that offends a lot of people.
Yeah.
Why to tackle these conversations?
Your Nazism is showing through.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's showing through my Hebrew tattoo on my side.
Yeah. Well, we're obviously in agreement about that. I don't know. I think it's wild as well. So yeah. What have we not talked about that you guys is near and dear to you related
what's happening with the actual election? Like I don't know if I'm an hour ahead or an hour behind because I'm in Puerto Rico. I screwed up the time tonight. But like, what time is it? And what's happening?
Polls close in exactly 11 minutes. So it's 8:49 right now.
Okay, it's 8:49. So my laptop time is the correct time. What is it Puerto Rico time?
An hour before.
An hour before. So it's 7:49 my time. So that doesn't matter. So it's 8:49. What's happening?
This is happening. I'm going to turn it on as soon as we get off, and I'll either.
Let's go to New York City Board of Elections, right?
Let's check it out.
I'm waiting for some of these heat maps to start, you know, running.
Come on, share your links. Where are the most up-to-date links?
That's what I'm trying to find now too, because I see these. Yeah,
Where
these aren't going to start reporting until like 9:30.
So I have some updates on New Jersey.
What's happening with our beautiful, beautiful friend Scott Pressler?
Yeah.
Oh,
Scott is amazing. You've met Scott?
I have not, unfortunately, met Scott.
Jackie, you've met Scott?
Yeah, I totally fangirled him. He was so nice and he was great.
A beautiful soul. Leon, have you met him?
Of course.
I haven't met him. I've spoken with him
You know what we're talking
just online,
about.
but I haven't met him.
He's just like a holy person. And listen, whatever your politics are, it doesn't matter. The way that he approaches voter engagement and getting out to vote, and the way that he's like so humble and pure and crisp in his language and the way that he speaks and the way that he tweets. I just love that man.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Great figure.
Yeah, he seems so. That's what I would expect. So I'm hoping at some point we had talked about meeting up, but
having a baby, right?
Have him on.
Yeah, Angela, you need to.
Talked about mothering his children.
That's what I meant by meeting up. You know, baby fever.
Baby.
We're working on
We're just
it.
gonna carry on his genes, okay?
Get more boots on the ground.
Yeah,
Literally, more cowboy
Literally.
boots on the ground with long hair.
Oh my God. And I get a lot of criticism like that I'm balding or whatever, which is like not true. I have like a lot of hair, but his hair is beautiful. So like apparently, you know, the haters would say I need some scalp.
So you'd have
There to help
12
me out.
kids with great hair.
Yeah, he's just something else. Okay, what are the latest? Where can I tune into?
So yeah, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know
tell
in my
me where to
feed.
tune into without like biased polling results. Like, where can we really tune into?
Well, yeah. So I have a report. Polymarket says that Abigail Spanberger won the Virginia governor race.
Oh, God.
And Mikey Sherrill will be the next governor of New Jersey.
Oh,
Yep.
Scott's efforts didn't pull off in New Jersey.
So, yeah,
No.
that's what I've got for you.
Okay, what about New York City?
Haven't closed yet.
I'm not finding anything about New York City yet.
Yeah.
But in New Jersey it closed, but in New York City it hasn't.
Correct.
I'm not sure. I don't think New Jersey has
What
closed
time
yet, but
change
it's
is there between New Jersey and New York City? Wait, Abigail, she's the one that went against that military
Yeah.
black woman, lieutenant governor.
Really? Yeah.
That's crazy. Like the only thing I know about them in Virginia is that social media clip. What's the other woman's name?
Winsome Sears.
Winsome Sears.
I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah. The only thing I saw online was that, because what stake do I have in Virginia governor's race? But the only clip I saw was that Abigail versus Winsome Sears. And it was like, how are you attacking this like veteran black conservative woman?
She's also great. She's super smart. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that debate, but it was a train wreck for, I don't even remember the blonde.
This woman, Abigail.
It was a train wreck. She couldn't ask.
She's right there on my MSNBC screen because I'm watching. Yeah, awful.
Well,
do we know what time we're expecting like final say so at?
For New York City?
Yeah.
I heard we should know tonight.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, since our elections tend to take months to decipher, I was told that we should be able
That's another interesting topic we could have talked about. Yeah.
to find out tonight.
yeah. I'm also seeing that for Virginia Attorney General, that Jay Jones is the projected winner.
Wow. Wow.
Was that the other one who was attacked on social media?
No, that's the one who, I mean, it's so horrible. He basically
said that he was going to murder someone else's kids.
Yes, and the debate.
How do you explain that? How do you explain that, right? Because if we talk about Zoran and his success in social media, then we talk about these two instances where they're out of state. So I'm not paying close attention. But what I've seen is just the social media videos of these people, right? And now their opponents are like, the villains in the social media videos now have won. How do you explain that?
I think it's the celebration over the past 5-6 decades of culturally spiraling off of a cliff and, cultural degradation. And we used to be a rules-based order, and we're no longer like that anymore. I mean, we have really normalized disgusting behavior that is suicidal for any surviving country. I mean, what Americans have imported and accepted it's devastating, really. I mean, on every level, from locking up mouthwash. Like, what normal people, have to go to a store 20 minutes early because you've got to find some, person on a cell phone,
Yeah.
like chewing gum, like zero urgency, let me find the key. Dude, that's your only job. You're key master. You got to go find the key in some cave in like outer Mongolia. Then they come back. It's like a whole production to get out the Skittles or the mouthwash. Like, this is something that was a red flag that got next to zero play because no one was getting killed. Now, guess what? Now businesses are getting killed because of it. People are getting assaulted in, these drugstores and everything where you have to like fight to get your mouthwash.
I remember on one of the last days before I moved back out of New York City, I vividly remember having to get a pint of ice cream unlocked at CVS, and I was like, "All right, I gotta get out of here."
Yeah. What about there should be what about people that like blast music on the subway? Like,
oh yeah.
C-Cop.
I mean,
Like,
we saw Mamdani. What was he was eating on the subway? Like he was using the seat as a plate. That was unbelievable. That was
by the way, no one from New York City does that.
Nobody.
No one.
Nobody.
That talk about denaturalization right there. Back to Uganda. We don't do that here. No one is rude enough to eat food on a subway. It smells, it's messy. I've never even been on a subway where there's ample room. I mean, I'm usually fighting like tooth and nail to even get on, that metal box.
Oh wait, I have an update, not about results, but in New York City, police were reporting in Manhattan there was like terroristic threats at 3 of the polling locations in Manhattan. We have West Village, Midtown, and Washington Heights. So looks like some people were trying to clear out those polling locations. Yeah.
Well, I love you all. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm in Puerto Rico at this conference that's going to kick off tomorrow, and I'm happy to provide any report that you want. 3,000 different politically inclined people from labor unions, elected office, nonprofit organizations, business sector are coming down to Puerto Rico. The positives of the conference, from whatever way you slice it, $1 million a day is injected into Puerto Rican economy because of this conference over the next 4 days. But anyway, a lot of these people just walked into the room, so I think I'm going to need to sign off here. Okay.
Guy, is there anything else real quick that you want to obviously have a great conference?
Great conversation. I mean, we could continue this into the night. I'd love to watch in real time and report, but maybe we could do this again. I know, Angela, I love you and we're connected. Jackie, I love you and we're connected. Leon, I'll look into you and I'd love to connect with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone listening, I appreciate it. And if, I think the takeaway is we all need to be normal to get along and really to find that human touch in order to survive politically. And I want to inspire others to reach out across party lines and find something in common so that we can survive together.
So I would just say, is like the geriatric out of the 4 of us here, whether people have kids or they don't have kids, you want to be able to afford the possibility of having kids. You want to be able to afford the possibility of buying your Yeezys and going on spring break and all this stuff. And you are just not going to get it without a capitalist society. Whatever you think, it's the only system that has literally ever worked. So, I mean, I hope everyone... 9 o'clock. We're going to see what happens. But Angela, I'm super grateful that you put this together.
Thank you, Angela.
And I love your
bold live.
Awesome. Like, I think you do more to bring forward people to the Democrat Party than probably anyone, because you're so cute and everything. And God, I love you. And I loved meeting you, Leon. And I follow up.
I appreciate you guys so much. I know election night, so thank you so much, Sky. Guys, we'll definitely do this again soon. I'm live streaming every week, so anytime you guys want to join, we'll be in touch. Sky, have a great event. I know, Jackie, you have to pop off too. Hi, Sky. Jackie, was there any last things you wanted to promote or shout out?
Just check out my Substack, which is Supermoms Activated, and my Instagram I'm super active on is Jacqueline for NYC. That's JACQUELINE FOR NYC. And Angela, send me a link of this because I want to put it up and everyone I should tag.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. You rock. We'll definitely talk soon. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Appreciate you. So then there were 2.
There were 2.
So I guess we'll all stay tuned to see what happens. Leon, how you feeling about things? I know we're the 2 that are now in Florida, but
I know we're here now. I mean, I'm honestly really curious. I'm not paying too much attention to like the polling data and stuff because I just find it a little hard to believe, no matter where it's coming from nowadays. I won't be surprised if it sort of topples on its head and we all get a little bit surprised, but it could also just play out as it's planned. I mean, I really don't have too many thoughts on it because, like you said, just how removed I've been recently. If I was still in New York City, I would have been following it so much more closely, like I did for the presidential election. I was out running to, like, voter sites and all this and that. But yeah, I've been a little bit more removed from it. I really did like this conversation that we had as a group tonight. That was fun.
Absolutely. Out of curiosity, based on your personal experience, you were in New York for like 4 years, right?
Yeah, like 4.5. Yeah.
What did you see any changes during your time? Like concern wise, safety wise, like things that changed during your 4 years that, kind of
safety, although it wasn't like necessarily for me personally, I didn't feel any less safe, to be honest. I don't know why, but I definitely did notice just a general, more fear for public safety. There was honestly city resources too really dry. The life had kind of just started getting sucked out of New York City in just the 4 short years that I was there. And I came after COVID, like literally I got there just before the lockdowns really ended. And then we had a spurt of just beautiful life, outdoor dining sheds everywhere. Then everything just sort of went straight downhill. It was almost like the life and the community vibe got stripped away from the people, and it was just a bunch of sardines still stuck in this packed city who now all of a sudden hated each other. It's a hard place. It became a really hard place to enjoy the basic daily, adventures and activities that you do. There is still the pockets of greatness, just like Jacqueline said, where, you go out for dinner or you go partying or whatever, but the day-to-day life has become just noticeably harder in New York City.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was feeling the same way, and I don't, for me, I was like, is it just because I've been here 12 years and it's just like, but just was something about it. Like I used to just feel this positive, like the energy. And you're absolutely right in the sense that I was starting to feel like everyone was like miserable. Like everyone was really like unhappy and just on edge. And so I definitely felt that as well. And I don't know. Yeah, it's concerning, and I hope, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I did have a little clip of Cuomo apologizing from today.
Oh, let's see it.
We'll play it real quick just because I have it. And
nobody knew what we were dealing with. I had the best health experts from around the globe giving us advice. We followed the best advice. We followed the federal guidance. And people died in a horrific way. There were no visitors allowed into nursing homes. And I apologize for any family that lost a loved one during that time. It was on my watch. And I understand how terrible it was.
Yeah, we really were first and worst. I remember calling my family down in South Carolina saying, Mom and Dad, do not go to that party. You don't understand what's happening here. Y'all need to stay away from your friends right now and stay at home. People are losing their loved ones. My doormen, many of them lost like their dad, their mom. It was really sad. Janice Dean lost both of her in-laws because of the nursing home situation. It was a really hard time for New York, and we were the first. What do you say to the people who can't afford to pay their bills here in New York, Governor? Because we know how Mamdani feels about the billionaires, about our police officers, about the Jewish community. Many of them are voting for you because of what he said about Israel. But what do you say when people are going to go vote for him today because free grocery stores, free buses, rent stabilized, corporate taxes?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. I say it's interesting timing, but is it interesting time? I mean, it's like,
yeah, you said that was today. Was that on air today?
Yeah.
I mean, the question that pops into my head was why did that statement come today? Why today?
Right.
There was plenty of time for that.
There was a lot of time that could have that could have happened. Yeah. That's also my feeling. So I guess that's my yeah, there was a lot of time that these things could have been said more toward the beginning of, him running and then whatever. Like, so on the last day, like on election day, I think the timing is is pretty sus.
Yeah.
Seems less genuine, right? That way, like
yeah. And even if it was 100% genuine, saving it till the last day, like that by default just devalues that feeling. So I don't know.
yeah.
I'm curious. Well, we're gonna see soon. I think I just read a report that said by like 10 p.m. we should have like a pretty solid idea.
Ooh. Okay, well, it's coming soon. Anybody who has any final comments, questions? There really hasn't been a lot. I would have pulled them. If you guys do have questions, comments, I'll pull them onto the screen. We can answer them in real time. Yeah, it is like when some of these, politicians and leaders are getting caught in lies, and it just makes it so hard to trust people, right? And I think a lot of us are feeling that, like, just based on our conversation tonight, myself included. I just think in the spirit of transparency and like accountability, these are a lot of common themes that from my conversations I'm hearing with people right now that we're wanting is like qualities that we can trust rather than the typical, oh, everybody lies. And, it's like, what, I don't know, who can we really believe in? I think we've all sort of been, let down. And so, yeah, kind of more of the same, but I don't know. We need so I just feel like accountability, transparency, credibility, all that stuff.
Definitely. And it boils down to, well, for me personally, what I like to say is when I'm looking at an individual, whether it's for office or a school board, anything, it's past over promises, not so much what they did or what their views were in the past, but how they handled specific challenges and hurdles that came up in the past. That gives me some tangible, value that I can build my feelings on you off of. It's facts. I can base that off facts. Promises are open-ended and they're empty. I can hope that you complete it. I can believe that you're going to complete it, but I don't know that you're going to complete it. From your past, I have an idea of, I know for a fact what you did. In the future, you might do it differently, but that's still a step closer to the right direction in my book than these empty promises that we're just getting fed 24/7, 365.
Yeah. And I feel like this is a conversation that came up last week as well. Just people are human. Like, we're all human. I think we're understanding in that sense that we make mistakes, but it's all like, how do you handle it? Like, what do you do in a given situation? How do you handle that situation? What do you learn from it? What's the takeaway? I think in a sense, like, we could trust somebody who like owned up to something, right? Took accountability and was like, oh yeah,
Definitely.
this age, or I'm going through this at this point in my life, and I learned my lesson, and this is why. And then I think we would be like, all right, it's not that nobody can ever make mistakes or, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone's human at the end of the day.
Yeah. So more of that, hopefully. But
yeah.
Well, Leon, thank you so much for joining tonight. It's an honor to have a founder of Network Access Group here.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. And I'm definitely going to be back, like, for sure.
Awesome. Well, you're always welcome. Is there anything else? Obviously, I will be promoting the live stream and the podcast, but is there anything else that you want to shout out or promote or say?
Not really. I had a great time. I loved it. If you guys want, go check out the Project Net Access group on X. That's where most of our updates come. Obviously, if you're watching this stream on Rumble, then follow the channels we have going here by clicking on the profile. We have a lot of incredible content constantly being made and pushed out by people from all over the place. Listen, we're not zeroed in on any specific political affiliations. We are an apolitical project, and it's all about bringing voices together and getting a room of people that just want to, build constructively, could genuinely just have discussions and learn from one another rather than fight 24/7. And I think tonight was a great example of just that. Even though I didn't know the two of them too much beforehand, I am very happy I got to meet them tonight, and I'm looking forward to connecting with them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really cool to have Sky and Jackie because they're in NYC. They know it. Then they're super knowledgeable, and they're very active in being out there, being vocal, speaking up, doing things, like doing the work to impact change. And so it was really, really cool to have them as part of the conversation tonight, and you as well. Thank you so much, Leon. I will talk to you very soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So guys, just any final questions, comments, thoughts? We're winding down here because I think everyone is kind of wanting to tune in and see what's going on with the NYC election and the results and where things are at. It is kind of weird to be in Florida while this is shaking out, because just a couple months ago I was in New York City and was there for 12 years. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious if anyone else in the chat, watching, listening, has any, thoughts, concerns. That's what we've kind of been talking about. I hope for similar to rooting for the country, I'm rooting for the city as well. I love New York City, and it has meant a lot to me. It's really changed me as a person. It's made me a lot stronger. I had all kinds of experiences living in NYC that I never would have had if I just stayed in Florida. And contrary to what maybe people think by, I don't know what our conversation is, or being critical of Mamdani, like, I love the diversity of NYC and all of that and what, New York represents and stands for and welcomes. But I think it's the extremes and the radical, for me, it's a lot of safety concerns, the, less police kind of stuff, the sending mental health counselors into the subway to deal with situations that's not safe, stuff like that. There's, some serious concerns there. And so I think we've had some really educated, informed people here tonight, and appreciate you all tuning in. We are doing this Bold Chat live stream twice a week now. So it's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the new one is also going to be on Thursdays. So on Thursday, it's going to be in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can tune in twice a week for Bold Chat, which is the live stream. We'll have different guests each time, definitely interactive. So want to, as much as possible, bring the audience into the conversation. If you have questions, comments, etc., please, we want to bring them up and talk about it. So yeah, so Bold Chat live stream Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Thursdays, 3 p.m. We're trying out a little evening afternoon situation. We'll be just bringing in different guests to chat, and it'll be really fun. It's been great. Love it. And then we have Bold Talk, the weekly podcast, my new podcast, right with the same studio background situation. So Bold Talk is the weekly podcast. New episodes release on Fridays, every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Network Access Group Rumble channel. The link is in my bio. Click on the link in my bio, head over there, follow. That way you don't miss any episodes. You can catch up on all the episodes. It's been a lot of exciting guests. New episode releases this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll be doing a lot of promo for it. Stay tuned. If you, don't follow me on X, please do. All the places at Angela Belcamino, as well as Network Access Group for all the amazing content and the podcast and the live streams on their Rumble channel. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight, guys. I really appreciate you. I wish everyone the best. Thank you, NAG, Network Access Group, for making this content possible. It's been really meaningful and transformative, really, to connect with more people and have these conversations. So I hope you are all appreciating it as well. People with all sort of different backgrounds, perspectives, opinions, beliefs, views, all that jazz coming together, and you can literally see the bridging of gaps and building of relationships. I think you can just see how much people have in common. People you might think are drastically different or not on the same, or ooh, this is going to be spicy, but it's we're all able to be reasonable and respectful. And I think these conversations are so important. Rather than avoiding disagreements or, conversations, and let's just put it out there and try to get to a better place and maybe find some solutions, or at least just connect on a human level, rather than be scared of that or shy away from disagreements, because it's actually really common. It actually makes a lot of sense that we don't agree about everything, right? We're all very unique, complicated, complex individuals, with very different backgrounds and experiences. So we are going to not see eye to eye on things, but the more we can talk and kind of come at it with an open mind, and it's totally cool if we talk and we still are like, yeah, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I still feel how I feel. Cool. But not having that conversation at all is like, why? I guess just ask yourself why, why not? Was kind of where I'm coming from. And I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for reposting and sharing the stream. I'll see you next on Thursday for the next Bold Chat at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then please, please, please set your reminders, follow on the Rumble channel to catch the new episode of Bold Talk on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much. All the love. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you soon.